It's your mom who was lying.
Maybe.
Who's your mommy, Brennan? How's mommy dearest?
Well,
It's fine.
I just want you to just
Probably
include
polite.
"How's mommy dearest" with no context.
Please do not. I feel attacked.
I'm a flower.
And Jake feels like a
Jake's the
flower.
only one I've seen not be a diva this whole time.
I'm
right now.
the goth, okay? I'm the centerpiece of this. I started this.
Oh,
I get to be the diva.
I'm
Well,
more
that
of
was
a
like the
baby.
divaest thing to say.
Don't you know who I am? Have you been listening to a word I've said?
Also British.
That was
accent.
Kate Blanchett
You
in
have-
the...
left center tooth.
L-O-L.
I like how I'm talking about a book and then it... Well, I want to see yours. Where's yours? Ooh.
Spooky.
Take two. Welcome back, y'all, and it's your favorite ghost host here, Jessi Dusk, along with my co-stars.
And Ben.
Jake Hoskins.
And we've got manga and spoopy manga,
Yours is cute, spooky, which is spoopy.
which is why it's called spoopy, because it's
For
just...
those out here who don't understand the distinction.
So, Em, let's actually start off with you. I feel like we don't really get to start off with you that often.
No pressure, though. Alright, so today I have H.P. Lovecraft's The Hound and Other Stories. I am a huge fan of whoever translates these things back and forth because the language sounds pretty much exactly like how I would expect the dialogue from an H.P. Lovecraft novel to sound without the context of, like, all of his deep descriptive rambling. The deep descriptive rambling is captured really, really well by this, like, macabre, very, like, light, dark, heavy,
No one
art
sees a
style.
photo over your face.
In the
that's what it
past,
is.
I've described it as taking advantage of Chiaroscuro because I'm pretentious that way. But basically, this is an anthology. It's named after the Hound, which I actually believe is the last or second to last one
I think
in
it's
it.
the second to last one.
In it,
I'm
we
right.
have 3 stories: the Temple, the Hound in the center, and the Nameless City. And they're all going to be really trippy because they're H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So basically, the concept of the Temple is you have these guys who are Nazis, and they're piloting a submarine, and one of the guys on the ship is dead at the beginning of the story. The captain takes this little tiny, like, I don't know if you can see this, but this weird, like, head relic, tiny little head relic from his pocket before they throw him overboard. And then, of course, there's this beautiful moment where some of the crew are like, oh my god, he's swimming away! And the other half of the crew are like, no, he's a dead guy, he can't swim. You know, all those kinds of, like, blurring the lines between life and death and perception that happens with H.P. Lovecraft. So yeah, they go on, and essentially, like, the only people who are left after some time are the captain and, like, the first mate, or, you know, some other dude. And the two of them are talking, and basically the first mate is like, hey, you've gotta, like, return this relic that you stole that's cursed us, and the captain's like, no. And eventually
mine.
they
Oh.
find this, like, tiny city
It's
under the
Atlantis.
ocean. It's not Atlantis, and we're not gonna have this argument again.
It's
But there's a lot of really interesting kind of stuff going on with the city that I don't want to reveal for the sake of leaving some mystery for the story. The second one is the Hound, which is basically this concept of 2, like, Victorian dudes who are, you know, chilling out, studying the cult because they're super bored. And they've decided that since reading the Necronomicon is not exciting enough anymore, they're gonna start, like, robbing graves. And they find this relic of, that's shaped like a hound in one of the graves that they rob, and it's like the symbol of a certain cult. And so they take it back with them and then start to experience these really terrifying, like, dog-related harassment situations. Like, no, they'll be, like, in the woods and they see, like, giant gashes on a tree trunk and they hear howling and they're, like, certain they're gonna be
No, I deal
consumed. Yeah.
with the same situation with my neighbor's chihuahua. It's quite a predicament.
Yeah, dude. It's scary. Chihuahuas. But yeah, so that's the basic premise of the Hound, or the setup. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. The third one is the Nameless City, which kind of starts with this guy who's like, I can't really tell if he's just like an explorer or like he's trying to be an archaeologist.
I think he was supposed to be like an archaeologist, if I remember correctly.
And he's like in this desert, and he enters into a tomb that he's exploring, and he sees all these like square or like rectangular structures that seem like they might be coffins, and then eventually he opens one to find that what is inside is not human at all, and also he may or may not be hallucinating some crazy stuff as he tries to escape from the temple. So yeah, that is this section of stories. It is super creepy. Each one is really unique, and honestly, like, this is my favorite brand of horror, so I'm really excited to recommend it for Halloween.
Yeah, definitely vibing with this book. I loved it a lot too when I read it.
It's on your recommended shelf. And it's going to be our 15% off book. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, my god. Jake, how about you take it away and I'll be lost today.
Okay. My book that I'm recommending is called The Promised Neverland. So The Promised Neverland is about this happy-go-lucky family of children living at the Grace Fieldhouse Orphanage. Every morning they take these like really intensive tests to sort of get their
happy-go-lucky.
They take these intensive tests and are given these scores.
Oh god, so that's what the horror is, right?
No, tests suck, but that's not the scary part. They study, they play, they have generally a good time, and they're raised by this motherly figurehead they call Mama.
How's Mommy dearest? Whoa.
But yeah, this mom person's their caretaker, makes sure they're all happy and loves them. These kids, one by one, are like adopted and sent away from Grace Fieldhouse. And one day, one of the younger siblings is been selected for adoption by a happy family outside the Grace Fieldhouse, and they all have a tearful goodbye, except oh no, she forgot her bunny rabbit in her room, her like stuffed animal. So Emma and Norman and Ray, like the three main characters, talk about it. Emma and Norman grab the bunny. They race toward the gate that leads outside the property to try and get her stuffed rabbit before she goes away, because she just finished like talking up how much she loved it that she forgot it. Anyway, once they arrive on the scene, they find her dead body.
Ooh. Okay, there's the turn. I was
So
like,
we were like, this is a cute slice of life.
I know. I mean, I was just like, where's the spook?
They hide under the truck as her dead body is picked up by this like monstrous demon and packed away into a container to later be feasted upon.
Oh! Wow.
Yeah. So
Pyrex.
yeah, so it turns out through a series of investigations that the Grace Fieldhouse Orphanage is actually more akin to a cattle ranch.
Oh!
Raising high quality meat for these demons.
Wow, that was such a turn of events.
Yeah, it turns out the tests are ways of sort of measuring where they're at in their ripening, because the demons value intelligent brains overall in regards to their meat.
I mean, I hear that tastes the best.
Yeah, well, and so commences a very like Death Note-esque battle of minds as Emma, Norman, and Ray try to plan and outthink their now like creepily mother figure mom, trying to figure out like how they can get away from her and her like watchful eyes, because like now all these like things that she's been doing are suddenly cast into a new light. They now realize like the bars on their windows don't even have any like screw heads, they've been filed away. Other small details like that they haven't picked up upon until this point, as they are trying to get everybody out of this house before anyone else is harvested for food by these demons. There's a lot of like methodical thought processes, because like these kids are being raised to be smart so that they taste good. As a result, they're very smart, and so a lot of the action is like intellectual.
So there's the conspiracy theory behind schooling. You're not going to school to learn things, kids. You're growing up and learning things so you can be eaten by demons.
50-50.
And also, boarding schools are basically the same.
Yeah. You're gonna have to read the story to find out how Emma, Norman, and Ray get themselves out of this terrible, terrible situation, and see if they can make it through with all their other brothers and sisters still alive. It's really
You
good.
started that out like going so cute, and I'm like, this is really
cute.
precious, but how was it spooky and this just weird laugh? Well,
Jessi, what do you got?
I don't have terrifying. I have spoopy.
It's basically like Vampire Night.
No, ma'am, no. This is not like Vampire Night.
I haven't seen that one.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
You're
about
not
it.
missing-
You're not.
Well, we might recommend it later. So you might be missing out if you haven't read Vampire Night.
So I have a new series in store for y'all, Beasts of Abigail. I wanted to give this a try out because I really, really loved this series once I read it. It's only 4 books long. Beasts of Abigail surrounds a girl who is kind of staying with her uncle until this angsty boy comes along, bumps into her, and decides, oh, you're in my way, I'm gonna bite your neck. So he bites her, and then she grows ears and a tail, and it's quite awkward because she doesn't know why. And it turns out that there are these people called the Luga, which are aka werewolves, and they have all been put on this island, which is kind of essentially Alcatraz. They've just been kept prisoner on this island by humans, and they're not allowed to leave. They used to run this area, this whole like village area, but yeah. And the whole, like, beautiful charm of Riberia is these beautiful roses that just are in fields and, like, in mass on this island. But back to the werewolves. They're trapped on this prison, and it's all these, like, young werewolves, so kind of like teenager, and so now Nina, who is the girl, gets sent to this island because she gets lumped in with the rest of the Luga, but she's like, no, I'm a human, please don't send me here. I have ears and a tail, but I'm human, I can tell you. And none of the other Luga are the wiser except for Roy, who is the boy, angsty boy, who bumped into her and bit her. And he himself is kind of perplexed by the fact that she's now a werewolf, because that just doesn't happen. You're either born a werewolf or you're not in this world. And so now it's this battle of she has to conceal her secret from the rest of the Luga, who just really hate humans, and so if they discover she's a human, they're just obviously going to tear her to pieces. But the humans are none nicer either, because they torment the Luga in little ways, make them do like little fight clubs just for entertainment. Now she has to find her way into a home, which is essentially a pack, and she gets in with these cute little fashionistas who are just, my god, so precious. If y'all remember a while back I talked about Kaiju Girl Carmelise. This is not the same artist, but the theme of that is just very cute, very colorful without the color, if I can best describe it.
You said fluffy also when you were
Fluffy,
describing it.
yes.
Yeah.
It's very fluffy, if that makes any sense descriptor-wise. But yes, it's very, very cute. Even though there's all this crazy stuff going on, all these happy and adorable things seem to happen in the background, but don't forget the horror of they're all imprisoned on this island and they're not allowed to go anywhere and can be killed at any time. And so now Nina is in a race to either save the Luga or save herself.
Pick a side, Coral.
With angsty Red Oni, who we all know I definitely side with. But yeah, that wraps up our Manga Monday, and as am spoiled.
And it's going to be our 15% off book. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. My God.
The Hound is going to be getting the 15% off this week. I really do recommend that for,
we only have like three or four in stores, so
we'll order more for y'all, but come and get your copy while you can.
Yes.
And then, give us the breakdown of the events.
You don't want to talk about it? You really wanted to talk about it previously.
I did want to talk about it previously.
Okay, well, I'll talk about it. Alright, y'all, so on October 1st, Halloween Day, we will be having stations throughout the store that hopefully will be themed with regards to candy. So we'll have like Japanese candy here in the manga section, like European candy in our import section, etc., etc. And that's going to be from 4 p.m. to closing. And then we're also going to be doing next door at Guzu Gallery a closing event, actually, which is something we don't always do.
Yeah.
But it's going to be for our horror show that's been going on this month, and it's going to be pretty much the same deal as the openings. Really a lot of fun. We had a great turnout for that opening, so you know, if you want to come through and make sure that you haven't missed any of those amazing pieces by local
Come get
artists,
your spooky prints.
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Tell us what's going on over at Outlaw too.
Yes, and last but not least, we are going to have some quote-unquote spooky game demos over at Outlaw. So there's probably going to be, I presume, a variety of different age levels available. We have a lot of like really intense, like almost like D&D style horror tabletop mystery house games. We have some, we always have like young adult appropriate and child appropriate games as well. So we're gonna be doing all of those on October 31st, and it's gonna be an awesome day.
It's gonna be a spooky old time, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in on this Manga Monday, and we will catch you all next week with some great picks again. Bye, guys.